So most of the stuff I do is relatively dangerous. I use a bandsaw. That melts metal up to a couple, like 100, I mean, it's molten metal. None of this is safe. If you do any of this, you're on your own. Take precautions. Study a bit. So my buddy Robert's working on a boat from Skeleton Crew costume, and he's gotten to the belt. Oh, I'm Hawk. Welcome to my channel. I make props and costumes. Today we're going to work on a belt buckle. We're casting it in metal. This is what we're casting. See if we can get that to do the thing that it's supposed to do. There we go. So, like I said, my buddy Robert's working on this costume. And for belt buckles and 3D prints, you really only have FDM because resin's way too fragile. And FDM's just, it's not, if it's a belt buckle, we might as well do the best we can, right? He found the file on the RPF. I'll put a link in the doobly to the discussion these guys had. It went back and forth a lot. I mean, there's like 7 pages. They did an excellent job. And they made a fantastic model. It's one of the few times I'm not going to use my own model. I don't know that much about the character. I hate to say it, I haven't seen it yet. But time as it is, I haven't had a chance to see it yet. But we're going to do a quick zinc casting. Shouldn't be too long of a video. But I figured since I'm doing belt buckles, I got a buddy who's also making a High Republic. The word escaped me for a moment. High Republic Jedi. And this is going to be the buckle for him as well. I don't know how well you can see any of that. But it's kind of neat. So we're going to wrap up a couple molds, pour some zinc, and see what we get. I bought an ingot, right? This is ZA12. It's a Zamek. Paul from Paul's Garage recommended it, so I got it. Does not fit in my crucible. So try cutting it. All right then. But I have a bunch of cutoffs or scrap test prints from Genesis Rhapsodos' sword. They're just failed prints. There's nothing we can do with them. And I've been keeping them because they're pretty and, you know, it tells the story that we're building. Yeah, but they aren't going to fit. So the zinc I was going to use for this, I can't. I don't have enough ingots to do the thing I need to do. First thing we're going to do is make a bunch of ingots. Seems weird, but, you know, it is what it is. So all of my scraps, all of my failed prints, they're all going to go, get heated up till melting. I'm going to pour them in molds. I've got these ceramic molds that I'm just going to keep pouring into until I have enough to do the thing we need to do. I do have one brownie, but it's just a little too small. I mean, this is what I'm making, and that's that. I mean, it's close, but then you add sprues. No, not enough. So, step 1 for today is to heat up the crucible to 750 degrees and make a bunch of mold, or a bunch of ingots. And I know what you're thinking, at least I know what I'd be thinking. Why bother with that extra step? Why not just pour straight into the mold? I want to make sure there's nothing on the bottom of the crucible, and I wanted to make sure all the dross was off, because when you reheat it, it's a much purer pour. And there were some chunky bits in there that I mean, everything from this. Little bits of ceramic in here, all kinds of ash. All of this came off of the sprues I just put in there. I wanted to make sure everything was nice and clean when I poured. As it stands now, this piece fits exactly in this mold. Exactly is not good. If I had a little more room, it would be way better. Because, you know, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I mean, I do have this one. It's a wooden one. It's not as good, but it does give me way more room. I think that's what we're going to use. I like the cast iron ones way better, but it is what it is. This mold is a 2-part mold. I could ram up a fake cope. That's the bottom part. And then put a sand it. No, it's just, instead, I've printed this piece. It's got light curves that match the light curves of the buckle. So I can just put it on. That way when I round up the bottom part, I don't have to worry about accidentally breaking these things. But this thing is just barely not symmetric. Probably not intentionally, but it's where we're at. It's repositioned so you can see a little better. And take a little bit of fresh, brand new facing sand and just sift it over the... So I use facing sand, brand new sand for the top, just so it's nice and clean. Then we're going to use the other stuff for the rest of it. And this is just loosely breaking up. I don't go to town when it comes to these things. A lot of people hit them with hammers and do all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't feel I need it. I'm using a low viscosity metal, zinc. Pours really well, and I think other people just overdo it. But that's just an opinion. They have a lot of other makers have fantastic results. I'm sure part of it's for show, because if you don't hit things and throw things around, you don't get the views. Luckily, I'm doing this for a friend, not for views. Views would be nice, don't get me wrong. But that's not the main reason I'm doing this. So now the part line does not care where it's at. So when I pull this piece out, that's just going to make the part line come in a bit. And there is our boat blank. These arms are super, super delicate. So I'm going to stop for a minute, put on a pair of glasses, and make sure everything is ready to go. Because the less angle I have right here, the easier it is going to be to come apart. So now I have a nice gradual slope into my actual part. All the pieces are nice and neatly exposed. Cover the whole thing in parting compound. And since there's not a lot of detail on the back side, I'm not going to worry about facing sand. Got a bunch of tear out here. Shouldn't be the end of the world. As long as I can get this out relatively cleanly, we should still be okay. This one may be a lost cause. I'm hoping it's not, but it may be. Yeah, almost everything tore out. So we're going to have to redo this one. Usually the first mold doesn't seem to work very well. Probably still just a hair or small amount of resin. You know. Could be any multitude of things. Gotten lucky the last couple of times, but not this time. So I dump everything out, mix it all up, do it again. Keep doing it until we're ready to pour. All right. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. So now we make a bunch of holes everywhere. So now these aren't risers, right? They aren't feeders or anything else that I normally call them. This arm piece here is exceptionally thin. And I'm using this as the metal's going to flow into the it's going to follow the path of least resistance, and if I take away any resistance to get to these, it's more likely to do the thing that I want it to do. That's a trick we learned by pouring Harlock buckles, because those are brutal. So anywhere I think there's a small chance that we're going to have problems, or a big chance we're going to have problems, I'm cutting a riser. So no matter what, I can cut these off with the bandsaw. And I'm going to pour right here, which gives it the most chance of going where I want it to. So I am worried about it going. I'm just a little worried about it. So I got a couple brownies to hold everything down. Got my pour spout. I'm just going to do this one on its own. See what happens. This is the first time I've cast this, so we have no idea what's going to happen. Well, it's going to pour, it's going to not. But at least this way I'll find out where the flaws are. Well, that's not good. None of my spruce, or none of my openings did the thing that they're supposed to do. Well, there's a little in some of them. We'll see. And there's just a touch in. Hopefully. How's it look? Oh, you don't know either. All right, well, all my corners seem to be up. Hey. Not bad. It's not perfect. It filled in here. And here. The arms seem to be pretty okay, though. That's not bad. It's not bad. Looks pretty okay. A little bit of cleanup, and that is what we got. The arms filled in. They're very delicate, but a belt just kind of loops through them. It's not actually part of the belt. The belt's going to lock in the back. A little bit chipped out right here. I can live with that. There's going to be a lot of detail work that needs to be dremeled out. But I'm going to call that a success. On to cleanup. Boom, went from this to this. It's pretty all right. See if we can get this to focus a little bit on it. And look at that thing. That is super neat. Soldier belt. But I'll give you an idea. I believe this belt's supposed to be brown. But you know, threads through like that. It's a smaller belt. The belt needs to be bigger. But that gives you a pretty good idea, right? I like it. It turned out really good. It's not perfect. Sand fell in right here, so I have a weird inclusion. Other than that, there's no real tear out. The arms seem pretty strong. For cosplay, it's perfect. Make it a little more buffing, a little more polishing here or there. For the most part, it's done. Unfortunately, since I actually had it work the first time when I poured it, and I poured all of it, I didn't have enough to do the High Republic Jedi belt buckle. That may end up being a member exclusive. I do have those, by the way. Both members and member exclusive videos. And if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, a little behind the scenes stuff, extra content, you know, got to make the couple of bucks a month worth it, right? Thanks for making it to the end. I appreciate that. This belt buckle turned out spectacular. I'm very happy with it. I already showed it to Robert, and he's excited about it too. I do this stuff often. Random weird videos. I'm almost at 300 videos. This is neat. I was just playing around for analytics, and I just hit 250,000 views. 300 videos. The math is a little off there, but you know, it is what it is, right? Yeah, it's neat. I enjoy this. Next couple of weeks are gonna be rough though. Next week I'm traveling down to Austin, so there's probably not gonna be a video for that. And then the week after that is C2E2. Probably not gonna have. I've got like 3 days in between each of those events, and I'm probably not gonna have time to do a video. We may do some reorganizing, maybe. That's a thought, and it crossed my mind. I made into doing that. We'll see. We'll find out together, provided you stick around. And if you do want to stick around, you know, maybe leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Other than that, thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you next time.